Hey guys, like I said I'm doing before, I am going to be ranking all the seasons from seasons 1 through 3 in the Spongebob series. And I'm using tiermaker.com in order to do so, and each of the tiers, each of the 3 seasons are going to be ranked like individually, so they won't be like crossing with each other. I think this is an interesting way to handle these. Well, with that out of the way, it's time to get started. Also, shout out to Lenovo. So first off, we have Help Wanted, the pilot of the series. It does a good job at like getting used to to some of the first characters we're gonna meet in the show, like Patrick, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and of course SpongeBob. The visually it isn't. It's a bit more rough than the other like episodes from the season, and it's of course it's a pilot, so it's understandable why. But still, this is a really fun episode. The anchovies, I think they are a pretty fun way to have a climax. And yeah, it just does a good job at setting up the first season. It isn't exactly the funniest episode I've seen. I mean, I mean, what I mean by that is it's not like as funny as SpongeBob can be, so I think I'll just put it in A. But still, it's a great start. Next up is Arg. I believe that's the. Well, I have other tabs that I can open in order to see which one that is. Yeah, that's the one I thought it was. It's the one where SpongeBob, Patrick, and Mr. Krabs go out on like treasure hunt, specifically for Mr. Krabs' greedy nature. I might as well mention that these episodes aren't in order. Like, I don't know which way these episodes were ordered. I mean, both Made Man episodes are right next to each other, so that makes it feel like this is somewhat organized. Like there was some sort of vision. Anyway, I think I'll put that episode as a B. It isn't the most memorable episode, but the treasure hunting was fun. It has the episode about it has the line about going west instead of west is a confusion for Patrick. I remember that was a really really memorable moment in the show when I was younger. Because I used to watch this show, like, I think SpongeBob was the first, like, not just cartoon, but show in general I watched. Yeah, even before any of the, like, baby programs, I think. Anyway, next up is Boarding School. I need to take a quick glance for that. I promise I remember most of these episodes, it's just some of these I don't. So I think I remember how this goes. It's just a basic episode, like our first like introduction to Mrs. Puff, and in that case, I think I'll give it a B. I think I remember quite a few funny moments. I'm honestly pretty torn between a B or a C, just because you don't have rating in C, I'll put it right there, but maybe that will change. The next up is Fools in April. Honestly, I didn't really enjoy this episode. It's the April Fool's episode. It involves a pretty mean scene for Squidward where he basically humiliates SpongeBob in front of all the other townspeople. The townspeople do give a good. They do feel like they do feel like they have a good moral compass when in other shows they can like be flanderized to like really feel like they only feeling one way, and it's a way to make the plot just feel like it has a conflict or something. Anyway, so the Frozen April, it has like the ending, which is pretty funny on like Reminder, but besides that, there isn't really much else. I think there isn't like anything particularly bad, so I'm not gonna put it in D. But yeah, it's C right now. Maybe I'll change later. So next up is Hooky. I do remember this episode quite fondly. It's an episode where SpongeBob and Patrick, they get really enjoying the hooks which happen to show up around their area, even though Mr. Krabs says not to. I do like the more fatherly guardian role that Mr. Krabs was designed with in the earlier seasons, and I think that helps make this episode probably an S right now, because one reason is because there isn't really anything else there, but also because the episode is pretty funny and managed to keep my entertainment a lot. It was really fun visually just to watch like all the crazy stuff they do with the hooks. There was that one scene around the end where like SpongeBob just really wants to go into the Krusty Krab to be safe, and Mr. Krabs and everyone else inside is like, we want you, SpongeBob. And I must admit that scene did feel a little mean, like when I first saw it, but it's like not, it isn't too much, I think, to like where the A. I mean, then again, there is most likely to be stuff to beat it. Speaking of like new places, but ones I'm gonna put, I Was a Teenage Gary in D. I remember really not enjoying the way that Squidward like treated Gary at the beginning, and I know that he feels remorse in the end, but it really doesn't like do much for me because there isn't really much time him focused on it. I mean there is, but it isn't. I don't feel like there's like enough time to like really have it grab on as much as I feel like I would have liked it to. Also the scene with SpongeBob transforming. I wasn't really disturbed by too much that SpongeBob did in the earlier seasons, but I mean when I was younger, not even like stuff like the Splinter or One Course Meal, those two infamous episodes really bothered me. But I Was a Teenage Gary, the transformation scene where SpongeBob turns into a snail, and I heard this was supposed to be like a cut one for Squidward, I think, when he turns into a snail. But yeah, I didn't really like that. That definitely didn't help the episode, and it doesn't even. I don't even think I remember there being a place where I laughed. So yeah, I think it deserves D. There's an F, there's an F score here, but I don't feel like any other like earlier SpongeBob episodes really deserve an F. Besides this one. So Mermaid Man and Barco Boy 2 and 1. I think I'll just start off with 1 first. I remember it being pretty fun. I'm also kind of conflicted between A or B. I think I'll give it like a higher B. That's something I should be doing, just having the ones I like more in C this way, ones I like more less than C this way. And I think this is good, so Man Boy 1 I think Mermaid Man Barnacle Boy are my favorite like debut introduction like of any of the characters in the show, or at least the relatively main characters. Because I just feel like it's just really mundane how they're just sitting around and how they're all retired. I feel like it's a pretty cool to like see Mermaid and Barnacle Boy are pretty cool characters, and it's sad that the voice actor for Mermaid Man passed away. So we won't be like really getting his like voice anymore, and he's only gonna be like chosen to be cameos. Yeah, I found this episode to be pretty fun, and I kind of liked SpongeBob and Patrick's motivational feeling, and there is something kind of like um, innocent feeling about like how in this episode we don't even really know Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, and they're like hyped up as SpongeBob and Patrick's like big heroes. So with Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2, I don't think it's about like them patrolling with the original Mermaid Man people. I think I'll put this here. I think I remember it not exactly being like super funny, but I thought like novelty of them like experiencing the act of fighting crime together pretty fun. Just want to make sure if there's anything I missed which I could include there. And I hope it looks like anyway, this text is kind of hard to read. So this is Muscle Bob Buff Pants. I think I'll put this one in A. Probably even over her one. And I do remember liking this episode fondly. I found the stuff with the muscles to be pretty fun. The entire like not being able to like pretty much lift anything despite having what appears to be giant muscles. And I thought Sandy was pretty fun in the episode. She felt like she was understandable about what SpongeBob was doing. It was a pretty fun episode between them. So next up is Nature Pants. It's an episode where SpongeBob like gets in nature with the other jellyfish. It's kind of weird to think of how common jellyfish were in the original like 3 seasons, at least in the original like few episodes. We really don't see them as often now. So Nature Pants, I think I'll put that in B. I thought that I do like the plot where someone goes to live off in the wild for a bit and like comes to terms with the different aspects of nature, especially if they're as specific as something like jellyfish. That's absurd. It isn't a trope that always works for me when it's displayed, but I like that here. Don't know if I remember too many funny moments, but I did consider the episode to be pretty fun. Yeah, it's kind of close between low B or high C, but I thought it was cool enough. So Neptune Spatula, I'm gonna put you in low. I don't want to put it in D. I think I'll. No, I think I'll put it here. Neptune Spatula was an episode I remember really liking when it first came out because I was like, oh wow, SpongeBob is going to this really intense thing, which is something which we wouldn't really get too often, especially in the first few seasons, unlike the later ones where we have Atlantis and what season 7 did with like the different like Bikini Bomb tales. So, yeah. So Neptune Spatula, I think the episode is pretty boring. Neptune has a pretty cool character design. It's pretty striking, but it really doesn't feel like too much happens besides the shower scene with the shower scene the shower scene with Tom Kenny. It's so beautiful, I can't even put it to words. So next is Opposite Day. I think this episode is I think I'll having trouble. I think I'll put this in C. I promise most of these like earlier episodes are really good, but this would be interesting to think of just how the 3 seasons match up. Anyway, Opposite Day, the earlier seasons, the way they handled like episodes about making fun of Spongebob were definitely more tame than episodes like episodes like Are You Happy Now, or the one with Squidward and SpongeBob go to that one concert to see that idol which Squidward really likes. I really didn't like that episode, but anyway, Opposite Day, it's it's an episode where Squidward does face a lot of bad luck, but it is definitely tamer than the than the later seasons, and I thought that Opposite Day was a fun way to like handle like the ignorance which SpongeBob and Patrick provide. Of course, is that you're Squidward, I'm Squidward. Is anyone else in this place named Squidward? Meow. That's not what Gary sounds like, I'm sorry. I don't really impersonate Gary that much. So, yeah, I think it deserves a... No, I think I'll put it here. It's fine after. When we have Pickles. First episode with Bubble Bass, a character which no one asked for to be in a relatively well-going side character in the later seasons. So with him, I do like Bubble Bass. I think he is a fun character. He has like obvious jokes about him and later on, but in this episode he's just mainly a jerk and steals. I wouldn't say steals, but like messes with SpongeBob, makes him think he isn't a really good like member of the Krusty Krab, isn't a really good like chef, a really good fry cook. Right, the word escaped me for a moment. So, I think I'll put Pickles in. I'll put it in no A. I really liked Pickles. I thought Bubble Bass getting his comeuppance was really satisfying. I thought the like stuff with SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs, and Mr. Krabs like goes to SpongeBob's house to like check up on him and see how he's doing, and I thought that scene was pretty wholesome, pretty nice. So yeah, I feel like I think this episode doesn't really get like the best reputation, but I personally think it's pretty good. I don't know if it's above Help Wanted though. So next up is Pizza Delivery. So yeah, this was like my favorite episode when I was younger. When I was first watching SpongeBob, this episode I found absolutely hilarious. I thought Squidward's redemption at the end was really satisfying. It really did feel like it really did feel like a journey. The humor can be like a little like random at like points, but I feel like it has like some good charm to it. And this episode has like a lot of really fun, like really memorable scenes. I think it's one of the best. Also, since we're now getting to more of the best, I'm just gonna put this here. And I don't mind. So Rock Bottom, I remember finding this episode pretty thrilling when I was younger. This was my idea of horror, at least the horror I could stomach at the time. So this is where SpongeBob and Patrick have to go into Glub World. I think this might be the episode where Glub World debuted, but I don't really recall. In this episode, SpongeBob and Patrick, after going to Glub World, go on the wrong, stop off. They go on the bus and stop off at the Rock Bottom area. I don't know if it's outside of Bikini Bomb or if it's just a small a small town in it. But yeah, they end up there and it's full of all sorts of the creepier, more unsettling and possibly dangerous fish, which are found at the inspired by the findings of the real deep darks of the sea. So I think I'll give it a. I think this is a good spot. I remember there were quite a few areas in this episode which I found pretty funny. At the time, and one of them is definitely the scene where SpongeBob is trying to get something from the vending machine and keeps missing buses. It's really funny. We think of how excessive it is. The earlier SpongeBob really he knew how to handle subtlety more than the newer ones. You can also obviously tell because of how calm idle the original SpongeBob's facial expressions are, how it's rare to see him get super exaggerated, unlike the later seasons. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. It's hard to talk about SpongeBob without talking about the later seasons. Anyway, so yeah, that's where I put it. I think that's a good place. So SB129. I think I'll put this in low A. I remember really enjoying the adventure which Squidward goes on. And how it's all time based, how this he both goes to the future and past and then ends up in that weird area full of letters. And it just feels like a real journey to it. There's a future clone. It's not Squidward. But yeah, I think a low A is good for this because it isn't really the funniest episode. I don't really think there are too many areas I found funny in there. So, but I think the adventure itself is, and all the different diverse places the Chrome future area looks really nice. So yeah, next is fun. Really well beloved episode, and I think I'll bring it up to here for the song alone. That song with SpongeBob and Plankton, where they sing about all the different things, what fun means, and it is a pretty memorable, wholesome song. It really takes you back upon listen. But for the other stuff, I thought it had some pretty nice interactions between SpongeBob and Plankton. This is a good episode for Plankton's character, just seeing the interactions between them. It's a pretty fun episode, and I thought the ending where Plankton steals the Krabby Patty and parts they're in the theater, and when he's running away he goes through the theater screen and it just rips and there's just a brick wall at the end behind it, I believe. I just thought that was so absurd. It was pretty amusing. Next up is Bubble Stand, and for that episode, I think I'll give it this. Having a lot of good episodes, and judging from the next one, it doesn't look like it's ending from there. So, in regards to Bubble Stand, it's a really simple episode. It's just basically about Spongebob and Patrick blowing bubbles and seeing like all the different things they could do with it. I thought the scene like where Squidward makes that really huge bubble was really funny. There was that like elephant joke where Patrick goes, "It's a giraffe." Yeah, I think that was a good Patrick. OMG. um, and I just found like I thought the animation for like how the big like special bubble which SpongeBob and Squidward perform was really fun to watch. And yeah, it was just really like cool like to see all the different bubble stuff. So there isn't really much bubble blowing in the newer seasons, which is a shame because it's so inspirational or something. Anyway, like I mentioned before, next is With Pants, and I actually put this in S. Yeah, this was an episode I do remember really liking. It's probably one of my favorite Sandy, like probably as Sandy at like her best. It's probably one of my favorite episodes where it comes to her. I feel like the situation which SpongeBob is in with understanding how funny people thought ripping his pants were, but seeing how far it could go was like pretty endearing to watch without like really feeling like it's getting too like realistic or just too much to handle for like a sillier show like SpongeBob, a more episodic one. But they work out great, and the song at the end really helps. Like it's like a it's like a bow tie on the present. It's it's yeah it's pretty great. It's definitely one of the best. I don't know if many other people feel that way, but I definitely do. We home order. Yeah, check this again. If it's the episode I think it is, it's this one. Yeah, this episode was really funny. There's a lot of memes made around the Patrick going wee woo, and well, that's also fun. The entire escapades of SpongeBob and Patrick, like trying to be good home auditors and just making a bunch of mistakes. I just need to go and check and make sure. Yeah, it was lots of fun. I think I remember that Mrs. Puff had a pretty funny reaction at the end, and the like joke with being SpongeBob, like who's the one terrorizing like SpongeBob and Patrick, especially Patrick, is definitely a good. It is a very like early SpongeBob type like conflict. So I think like it isn't like like the plot itself isn't too like fun, at least in concept. But no, I'll put it here. Maybe I'll switch these two. They go way close. Anyway, Sandy's Rocket. This episode, I think I'll give a IB. I didn't really find the escapades of SpongeBob and Patrick trying to like grab everyone who they think is a crazy monster. Like I didn't find that super like funny. I I feel like it's something which a lot of people would find like one of the funniest moments in the episode. But I think it was funnier just seeing how SpongeBob and Patrick like react to like the changes in gravity. Not to mention it was pretty fun. The episode has a fun concept. But, I think it could have like handled like I just thought it would have been funnier. Anyway, now we have the debut of Plankton and Plankton, and I think it's a pretty good episode. I'll give it a. I think I'll give it this. It has a lot of fun jokes. It really sets up Plankton as a pretty like entertaining villain. It's crazy to think how like few and far between his appearances were in the earlier seasons compared to later on, where he shows up quite a lot. Like most like for every 4 brother sister episodes, he would most likely show up in under 4 episodes. So yeah, it had a good plot. It had a lot of memorable scenes. This is my laboratory, and this is my lab. It goes the other way, but yeah, that was you've probably seen this episode before. It's a really well-known episode of SpongeBob. And yeah, it introduced one of the most popular characters in the show. Anyway, Naughty Natural Neighbors. I think that's the one which involved. Wait, never mind. I need to go and check this out for a moment. I'm not really getting too much. Oh wait, now I get it. I understand what it was. Yeah, I think this episode's going in D. I think I'll put it here. I thought this episode feels like an episode from like season 9 or just one of the later seasons, like early season 9. Like it's awkward transition into the like arguably better, like very arguably better, like after season 9 stuff. Anyway, so this episode features Squidward like getting into an accident when trying to prank SpongeBob and Patrick, and turns into this like he imitates this weird like abstract creature who SpongeBob and Patrick feel like they should take care of, and they do a lot of pretty fun like jokes around it. Or at least I think they did. Well, I just need to go and check again, just make sure this is what it is. Yeah. I was getting confused with jellyfishing, which isn't too hard to tell because they both involve Squidward pretty much helpless. I thought even though I thought the like scene at the end felt a bit too like strange for the earlier SpongeBob. I'd say that it was a good. It at least was visually good, but besides that, there wasn't really much else to say about the end. I mean, to think of it, I really don't think I found anything funny in this episode. It just felt more mean-spirited. Jellyfish Jam. Yeah, it's weird, but like, I feel like the stakes of it, like the weirdly high feeling stakes, stopping Mr. Krabs from being like some sort of corrupt businessman-esque like villain. I think I'll give it a high B. I found the whole jellyfish jam. I wish there was something which they brought it back, or at least mentioned again, because I think that's like a fun concept. I like the song the guy sings in the Krusty Krab. Isn't it the like My Leg guy? I think it is. And yeah, I thought I really liked the blue jellyfish design. So yeah, if there's anything which I think is wrong, yeah, I feel like I don't feel like the ending, the climax is as effective as I think it wants to be. It doesn't really feel as like engaging. And overall, this episode isn't super memorable. So yeah, I think this is a good place to put it. Not bad, but this much better. Anyway, Culture Shock. Don't remember which one this is. Just need to go and check real quick. Okay, this one aired alongside Fun. I think I know which one this is. Culture Shock feels like a weird name to give it, but this episode had quite a few funny moments. I think I'll put it in, like, I think I'll put it, yeah, I think I'll put it around here. It isn't the most memorable episode, but it does have some pretty fun scenes. It has a scene of Squidward, like, doing that weird dance, and it has the whole mopping thing with Spongebob, which I found really, really funny at the end. Okay, anyway. He has such a way with words. Yeah, they're probably. I remember that like episode having a lot of pretty funny scenes for them. They obviously my favorite episodes are most likely the ones which it isn't too hard for me to remember. And Cody Shock is a bit forgettable. We Home Sweet Pineapple. I'm gonna give this a low C. I didn't really find like SpongeBob's like trying to find a new pineapple or a new home to really be that like interesting to watch, not really super entertaining. I thought it was pretty annoying at the time when the nematodes, I think they were like ate SpongeBob's house. I was like, come on, how could these little guys do this? But it isn't really a problem. I liked seeing SpongeBob's pants. I actually do think they're pretty nice characters, but this episode just isn't really memorable. I guess the scene where the new house lands on Squidward is kind of funny, but no, I can't really think of anything else. So next we have Employee of the Month. Real pretty mix on this. I thought the like this stuff, like the interactions between SpongeBob and Squidward were pretty fun to watch, like with their different ways of like stopping each other from being Employee of the Month. But I don't really feel like this episode suits like the early version of SpongeBob so much. It makes them feel kind of like selfish. Like it's definitely not an A episode for me. I think I'll put it in. It had like quite a few like fun moments, and I thought the like how they were getting on each other, how they were messing with each other, and how it might not even have been intentional. I think I'll put it over here. Next up is Reef Blower. One of the first episodes, and I had a DVD pack for the first 3 seasons. First season, like the first parts of the season 1. And Reef Blower was the first episode in that, despite how in the actual like episode order it would be how it wanted. But anyway, Reef Blower. It's a different episode. It doesn't feature any lines. it just features like gags. But I think it's a B. I thought the like leaf blowing stuff was kind of funny. It it started that whole like Squidward creepypasta stuff. So I guess that like will keep it up here. I feel like I might want to move this lower later down, but maybe not. No, I think I'll switch this with this. I think I remember Opposites Day more than Nature Fans. Anyway, jellyfishing, that was the episode I got confused with the other Squidward episode earlier on. Nautical Neighbors, yeah, so jellyfishing, I think I'll give it a high C. Firmly grasp it. That was not a good Patrick. So yeah, besides that one line, there really isn't too much that I find super funny about this. And in fact, I think I'll move it down to here. Yeah, so it isn't. I think it's more memorable than Pineapple in that. And you can like tell that SpongeBob and Patrick do want to like try and help Squidward have a fun time, but it just feels like too like mean on Squidward's end. Like Karate Choppers, I think it's the only karate-based episode in the season. The episode features SpongeBob possibly getting kicked out of the Krusty Krab for using his like karate, either I think it was either in the store or just in general, and the Krusty Krab. Doesn't feel like an A episode. It's kind of, it's not really memorable. I can't think of like the plot being too entertaining. So, but I do remember like it was fun seeing how SpongeBob and I thought even though like this episode doesn't beat with pants when it comes to Sandy, I think it's still like a good episode for a character and SpongeBob's, and I do like the scene at the end where like Sandy really feels bad for like forcing like karate on SpongeBob. Yeah, was a good character moment, but besides that, not really much to say about. Then we have Scaredy Pants, which I'm gonna put in high A. I don't consider this like one of the best episodes. I don't feel like it's like as funny as these three can be. You know what? I'm just gonna move this for this. But Pants is more memorable to me. Yeah, but Scaredy Pants is still a really fun like Halloween episode. It was the introduction of the Flying Dutchman, another like well-beloved character. I really liked some of the costumes, especially like Sandy's with the fishbowl. I thought the ending was pretty funny, with his costume being too scary for even the Flying Dutchman to handle. Everyone runs. Yeah. Anyway, Scaredy Pants, yeah, it is a really good episode, just doesn't beat the top three right now. Anyway, Sleepy Time. I think I remember that. I always like thought of, when I would think of Sleepy Time, I would think of Suds. And when I think of Suds, I think of Sleepy Time. I think that's because they're like twin episodes. They're like brother and sister episodes, and so like Sleepy Time, I'm gonna give this a. I really like this episode. You know, like, I'm really considering like a low S or a high A. Doesn't feel exactly feel like an S yet, but I do still really like this episode. It's I think Dream, like going into other characters' dreams. Well, it isn't a trope I see done often. I do like it when it's done, and feel like this episode does it really well. I really liked Gary's. I thought Plankton's was fun. Then there's just Patrick's, which is very simple. I thought how everyone else like got up to SpongeBob. Went over to SpongeBob like after all of his dream diving was done. Felt something about it just felt kind of off to me. Like, how are you guys so sure that that was even something which SpongeBob could do? Maybe you guys just dreamed about him. Might as well mention I really like the Squidward dream. And it was actually a kind of a nice moment between the two of them. Anyway, Squeaky Boots, a bit of a 180 because even though I don't dislike this episode as much as I see other people doing, yeah, I'm not much of a fan. I think I'll put it over here. I thought the absurdity of like faces which you would see Mr. Krabs making is pretty memorable. Like, trust me, you don't forget those faces. But besides that, I don't find the Squeaky Boots to be as annoying as a lot of people do. I kind of have a bit of a good annoyance, like endurance ability. I can endure a lot of annoyance, but this episode doesn't really have much to offer besides that. It isn't really super funny to me. I think it deserves to be here. It's just it just didn't really have too much to it. I might even put it down lower at the end, but I thought that one like scene was pretty fun. How everything was sounding squeaking. Mr. Krabs, I scored the unfriendly ghost. I'm gonna put this in high D. I really found this episode boring when I was younger. I just didn't really find Squidward being a ghost to be super entertaining to watch, and it's kind of, I feel like there's a lot more that could be done with it, but it just felt like everything was just simple, waiting on me, doing the stuff for me. It's a trope of someone like managing to take advantage of her characters and basically turn them into servants, but I've seen that trope done and better in many other shows, and it just isn't too engaging here. So next up is Suds. I think I'll put this episode here. I thought this episode was pretty fun, exploring how SpongeBob's codes work. The ending was like pretty memorable. Also pretty funny. For some reason I couldn't register at like how painful Patrick's like situation was when he was being used as a sponge, and in the last part of the episode, I didn't really catch that for some reason, but now I do, and I can say that's pretty funny. And yeah, overall aside, it's a good episode for Mr. Krabs, a good episode for Sandy. It's overall a pretty good episode for everyone. I think it might even these things are like neck and neck. I feel like, oddly enough, I feel like Suds deserves to be Asthma and Sleepy Time. I don't think, maybe I'll consider it later. Anyway, Tea of Freedom, the first episode was to have Sandy in it, Sandy's debut, and this episode has a lot of really memorable moments, so I'm gonna put it in, like, right in the middle of A, and yeah, a lot of people know, like, this episode has a lot of memorable scenes. It has the entire, like, I need it, please Sandy, with the water. I thought that was pretty funny how, like, Patrick tries to drag Spongebob like out of the air-filled tree dome and just can't do it, and eventually like just struggles to. And I thought this was a good episode to like to introduce Sandy, and she really does appear to be like a pretty nice character, and I don't mind like that she switched to like being a scientist later on. It kind of suits the outfit. It feels I feel like people would like really question the suit if she didn't really go more in that direction. And also the ship. Um, anyway, speaking of Sandy, we have Texas. I think I'll put this in low B. I thought this episode wasn't super funny, like for the first two-thirds. Besides that one song, the first two-thirds are not super interesting to me. But then we have the last third, and that scene is pretty fun, like actually pretty darn funny with the whole like being chased by Sandy, how Patrick just gets launched back in the explosion. Definitely a joke which I find funnier now than I did before. I don't really find explosions as funny as before, and I don't know how I should feel about that. Anyway, next is the chaperone. I think this might have been the episode to introduce Perlin, but I could be wrong. I remember thinking this episode was pretty nice. I think I'll even give it a low A. I remember it being pretty funny, all the different moves which SpongeBob would do. It definitely feels like a late 90s episode, because with the whole like dance scene after feeling pretty akin to like some of the cheesiness around that time. And but yeah, I thought it was a good episode for Pearl. I actually have somewhat mixed opinions about Pearl. Some episodes I like, but some episodes I don't really. But yeah, I like them that. Then we have the paper, which is a really simple episode. I think I'll give it a. I think I'll give it a B. Actually, I think I'll put it even over this. It is pretty fun, like seeing how Squidward reacts with such confusion about it. He really he really shows like how Squidward feels curious about something, even though he tries to not look that way. I feel like that's a good aspect of his character. And that's like probably my favorite aspect of a jerky character like him. What one can do is just make them interested without trying to feel too interested. Like make it feel like they're really learning something, even though they don't look like they're in the moment. Anyway, next is Valentine's Day, the Valentine's Day episode. This episode was really funny. I think I'll put it above fun. It's more funny than fun. So Valentine's Day was an episode where like SpongeBob's throwing the sap is big. Valentine's Day celebration or Valentine's Day setup. I don't remember what it was, but I remember it being something which did make Patrick happy, as Patrick is the one he's trying to set this up for. And just how Patrick reacted to like the whole thing, like getting angry and stuff. At first, I feel like it is kind of mean to Patrick at some points. Like it is kind of like awkward just to watch him. Awkward and funny to watch him just walking around like all these fun areas, which I thought were really visually pleasing when I first saw them. And just looking at his hand with so much disappointment. Yeah, I think this is a good place for it to be. So finally, for season 1, we are Walking Small. Just need to go and check which episode that's in, or which episode that is. Small. Okay, he tries to manipulate Spongebob in this episode. Yeah, I don't remember this episode being too memorable, so I'm just gonna put it here. It might have had some scenes which were really like something, but I can't really remember. Anyway, so this is the list for season 1. We have out of all of them, we have the most A's and the least S's, but then again, S's should be reserved for like the very, very, very best. And I feel like these 2 episodes serve that. So it's like, so I said it Michael and S before, but now I don't really think so. Anyway, now it's time to move on to season 2. Don't really know where I can like credit the creator of these tier lists because they're really helpful. I guess I can just, whoever made these tier lists, thank you. These are very cool. First off we have Artist Unknown. I've been trying to find this episode, but I can't seem to. Yeah, I must admit I'm kind of confused on where this episode is located. I just go and check one more time. I don't want to take up too much time with this. Actually, I think it might be the episode where Squidward like tries to lead a bunch of artists, and like Squidward and Spongebob is one of them, and he ends up making all this cool stuff, and Squidward can't exactly do that. I thought this episode was pretty fun. I think I'll even put this an A, but it'll probably be a low A. Like, it isn't as funny as I think other people find it to be, in my opinion, but especially now, like, knowing like 20 times more about art as I do now than back then, it is pretty cool, and especially stuff like that one circle thing where Squidward where SpongeBob makes a face from a simple circle. I remember that blowing me away when I was like a young one. But now it's like, now I think of it as, yeah, he's doing it right. I should apply the Squidward's art class. So next up is Band Geeks. Yep, it's going in S. I know that it's like the most like obvious opinion, most obvious choice of any SpongeBob episode to have this as the best episode, but it really is the best. It's like every single joke in the episode works. It has a really fun premise. It's the introduction of Squilliam Tentacles. I think that's what he's called. I doubt his name is Tentacles, like his last name, but yeah, this is the introduction of Squilliam, and he's really great. This is a very memorable scene, which at the end with the song, which finally got showed at the sport event. The name escapes me. I'm not a sports person. Anyway, yeah, Band Geeks is amazing. It's like one of the best episodes of really any cartoon when it comes to comedy. So yeah, don't know what else to say. It's Band Geeks. Like the quintessential SpongeBob ad speak episode. Is mayonnaise an instrument? So next is Big Pink Loser. Don't think I remember that one. Okay, I think I know this one. It's like where Patrick starts copying everything SpongeBob does, and he finds out he's pretty good at doing what SpongeBob can do. I think I'll give this episode a C. Yeah, it wasn't really too memorable to me. I remember there are fun points, but I can't really say too much about it. So next up is Bossy Boots. I think I should probably go these later ones quicker, just like get them over with. So Bossy. I'm looking to season 1. I'm working with it for so long, I'm not confused. Huh. I'm trying to find it, but I'm having trouble with it. Hold on, I think I'll get to it eventually. I can't just... Okay, so apparently it involves Paul getting a job at the Krusty Krab, but... Oh yeah, I remember this episode. Yeah, it has all the pink... It has like Pearl like turning the Krusty Krab all girly, and it's just not like what the Krusty Krab has been like. I don't remember why I didn't see this when looking through like the list I was looking at. Okay, I just found it, now I feel dumb. I really am after finding out where it is. So it's, yeah, season 2, episode 1, sister episode, possibly. So I think I'll give it a B. I think I remember it being pretty fun just seeing how, I really like the Spongebob costume, like, that he gets. There isn't too much to say about it, but I just remember it being really fun. It might be a low B. Next is Bubble Buddy. For some reason I feel like this episode should be a season 1 episode. I think I'll put this in low, and like, actually no, above awesome no. I do remember liking Bubble Buddy pretty fondly. I remember the Bubble Buddy himself is, he doesn't talk, but he's fun to like watch. Yeah, how the other like people who are just gang up on, and like this special, this bubble guy, I question how, if that really is something natural for some of these characters to do. For someone like Squidward, probably, but I think there were other characters who I felt like could, like, really do it, but besides that, this episode was pretty fun. But definitely not as fun as Christmas Who, which is getting an S from me. Yeah, Christmas Who is just, in my opinion, it's like, as another, like, totally original opinion, but this is definitely, like, one of the best, like, Christmas specials from any cartoon. It features a pretty original, plot with SpongeBob learning to meet about Christmas from Sandy, which makes sense with her being like the only one from above water, and just trying to spread the cheer to everyone else in Bikini Bottom, only to not happen in the end, and everyone turn on SpongeBob. Yeah, this was a really, really good episode for when it comes to Squidward and SpongeBob's relationship. Yeah. And it features lots of really good jokes. It has that one very, very, like, good Christmas song. SpongeBob is really, really good with music, and I mean, there's sometimes where it isn't as good, but this is definitely a highlight. I would count the Band Geek song if it was actually from Spongebob, but no, it's just a cover. Maybe it's even less than that. Anyway, so yeah, Christmas 2 is definitely an ass. It has lots of very memorable moments. The wristwatch thing with Squidward and Patrick is quite something. Quite something funny, I mean. So next is Dumped. I think I put this in D. I really didn't like Dumped at the time. Yeah, I just didn't enjoy SpongeBob being so miserable. I like the designs for the other pets, and I thought the whole cookie thing with that being the reason why Gary was choosing Patrick over SpongeBob. I thought that was fine enough. It wasn't super like this show definitely had like better payoffs, but that one wasn't too bad. Now we have Dying for Pie, a pretty interesting episode when it comes to people's opinions on it. I think I'll give it an A. It does feature a lot of really nice moments between Squidward and SpongeBob. It might be one of the best Squidward. It might be Squidward like at in one of the episodes of Squidward at his best. Like he really does show like how layered he can be. Once again, just still keeping the silly nature of SpongeBob. I was still surprised they were allowed to show like squirting blood on the on this episode. It was quite it didn't even really process me at the time, but yeah, thinking back, dang. I wish Nickelodeon was a lot more comfortable with. I hope that Nickelodeon gets better at taking risks in the future, because in recent years they haven't been as prevalent with that. Anyway, I don't want to get too off topic for SpongeBob. So anyway, Frankendoodle. Yeah, I'll give this one an A2. Probably an A above this. I remember really liking this episode, liking more with my new abilities to draw, which I didn't have back when I was a little one, watching this episode for the first time. I think Doodle Bob is a really funny like antagonist, and I think that, and I overall think that this episode has a lot of pretty funny moments. And I just thought the entire magic pencil gimmick, I thought it was so fun. I mean, they brought it back in the later seasons of SpongeBob. I don't really recall how quality the episode was. I heard it wasn't super great. I doubt it could be better than this though. Also, the SpongeBob game, which no one talks about, SpongeBob Won the Life on the Nintendo DS, was absolutely amazing. I highly recommend anyone who still has a DS to somehow play it. Gary takes a bath. I believe this was a shorter episode. I'll give it a low B. I found some of the jokes to be pretty fun. There's that one soap joke, which I don't really find that joke super funny. It's not because of the subject matter. It's just just because it's something messed up. It doesn't really make it so it's enjoyable to me. I'm not a Brickleberry fan. Anyway, so Grandma's Kisses. This is an episode I think I'll give it a low C. I like the moments where SpongeBob and his grandma interacted. Those were usually my favorite moments, especially the moment where SpongeBob starts crying after all the attention Patrick's getting. It's just really nice, and reminds me of how much I love my grandparents. But besides that, everyone else, including Patrick, including Squidward, I just didn't really like. I guess they didn't really they just weren't really it's felt like they were just mean to SpongeBob for not a very good reason. And we'll get to more of that soon. Anyway, Graveyard Shift, I'll give this a high A. I really liked how, wait, just want to make sure, because it could be another episode which I think is in the 3rd season, maybe. Graveyard Shift. Gosh dang it, do the long ones again. Oh, Graveyard. Graveyard. It's the graveyard. Okay. Oh. Yeah, for some reason I find it weird how it's called the Graveyard Shift. So yeah, it features like Mr. Krabs setting up a night shift for the Krusty Krab, and SpongeBob and Squidward are in it, and Squidward tells SpongeBob about this Gary Hash thing, Slasher. It's a very memorable name, and then it features a lot of really funny jokes. One of my favorites is the joke where SpongeBob runs out to take out the trash and runs back and is like, "It's cool. I'm fine." And first is a Nosferatu joke, which really didn't make much sense to bring back, but it does like work there. And it's funny the origin about the scene, because it was originally a joke from the storyboard artist, and he really didn't think that it would get in, but it worked. And it fits. It doesn't feel. It feels fine in line. And yeah, overall, it's just a pretty darn funny episode. I'm with it's stupid. I wish this episode wasn't more of the ones which get some more interesting, like, title design. Like, season 2, I think, is much better, like, by coming up with cool-looking titles than season 1. Cool-looking title cards. So I'm with stupid. Yeah, alluded to this episode before. Yeah, a lot of people consider this to be the worst episode of the first 3 seasons, and there might be something which beats that, but right now this one is my least favorite. Yeah, Dumped had some fun moments, but I didn't think I'm with Stupid had anything that really caught my eye. Either I'm just trying to think. So, I'm trying to think of something which is kind of. I wouldn't say there was that one brain joke which was pretty funny, but it was just spent. I didn't think there was a good reason for Patrick to be acting as being the SpongeBob as he was, and I just want to real quickly relook at which episode Bossy Boobs, just to make sure that I have the right episode, because the scene I was talking about might be for something different. Because I think the suit that was for a different Mr. Krabs episode, but I do still remember that episode being fun enough and really going to high B. So I'm your biggest fan of Tick. Isn't that the episode with the weird sea cucumber guy? Fan of Tick. The longest names are the hardest ones. The Cypher. Yeah, I think it is. So I thought this episode, I think I'll watch this episode in like over a year. I think it has lots of really funny moments. The cucumber guy, forget his name. I think his name was Kevin, maybe. I've known much more interesting Kevins, and yeah, this character just isn't super memorable. But I did like SpongeBob's redemption arc, and I thought the gap to like actual like attachment crown of his was pretty funny. And I think I remember like Patrick being funny as well. Next up we have imitation crabs, and this is definitely going. I can't decide between high S or low S or high A. This episode had so many like memorable scenes, so many jokes. It really shows like how I really do appreciate like how it actually made me intimidated by SpongeBob when I was a kid when he had all that tartar sauce, and I imagine that the newer version of SpongeBob won't be doing that anytime soon. But yeah, Plankton's idea was genius. I like how the Krusty Krab's outfit, because one thing I do question about making about like episodes which have like someone make a clone, like make a makeshift like robot or something that looks similar to like the that's supposed to replicate someone else, but of course has the like metal parts like telling like that it's not the real one, or other details. I think that it can bother me when it looks too off. Like for example, this season, the show did that later on with Who's in the Kitchen with Sandy. But right here, I think it does well. I think the suit looks like similar enough for it to be understandable how SpongeBob would get confused. Yeah, so I think it feels good to be at S. Wait, Jellyfish Hunter? Don't know if I remember this one. Check. I think I did watch like every episode of the show when I was younger. If I didn't, then I'll just not place them. So Jellyfish Hunter is Mr. Krabs goes to jail. Most love. SpongeBob special jellyfish jelly Krabby Patties? Huh. Oh. Okay. I think I just realized something. So jellyfish jam from the other episode, I remember it's I mean, can you blame me? This episode's called jellyfish. Episode called jellyfish jam. Jam is pretty similar to jelly to me. So darn it. Just typing in anyway. So jellyfish jam was the episode where SpongeBob gets a jellyfish, and they just start jamming and start like partying at his house. And that episode I thought was pretty fun at the time. If I was still on that list, I think I'd give it a B. I don't remember what I gave the original, like what I gave Jellyfish Hunter at the time, but oh yeah, I think it was like a high B. I guess I'll put it there too. So yeah, basically what I said last time, I'll see you Jellyfish Hunter is Krusty Love. Okay, that was the one with Mr. Krabs trying to get with Mrs. Puff. What happened to Mr. Puff? He doesn't like to talk about it. So this episode had a lot of funny moments. I thought the scene where SpongeBob like talks to like Mr. Krabs, like getting really confused about all the different signals which he's trying to send, and just all the different demands he is. It is a pretty good episode for Mr. Krabs. It shows how I thought his awkwardness was pretty charming, and kind of, in some way be kind of relatable to the people who watch the show who like love. Anyway, Krusty Love, I think I'll give it. I think I'll put it here. Yeah. So next is Life of Crime. I think this was the Mr. Path episode. Just yeah, for it. Damn, I'm having trouble finding it. Okay, here it is. Oh, yeah, this isn't the episode I thought it was. So this is the episode where SpongeBob and Patrick steal a balloon. A natural free balloon day. So Life of Crime. I think I'll give it a mid A. We're doing really good with the A's right now. So Life of Crime, I really like its. I think the like plot itself is really fun. There was that one fire joke. I don't really like jokes which break the fourth wall super like too much, and it's like what. And luckily, like pre-movie SpongeBob plus 3 seasons doesn't really do that too much. So with that being said, yeah, Life of Crime has a lot of memorable scenes. The whole like chocolate bar thing, I remember that really annoying me as a kid. Like, how did you not notice that you ate it? Now I realize that's the joke, and it's dumb, but it's also funny. Dumb doesn't always equal humor, but in this case it does. So, have you had Money Man Barnacle Boy 3? It's what I think it is, and I might put this in S. Oh, okay. No, I think I'll put this in S anyway. It wasn't the episode I thought it was. That episode, I think that episode actually is in season 3. But Money Man Barnacle Boy 3 is the introduction of Manway. It was like it was a pretty fun villain in the show. I don't know if he might be my favorite because of his like big personality, and this episode came with a lot of memorable scenes, like the whole conversation with it's like Patrick and Manway about the wallet is pretty much like one of the most arguably not the most popular SpongeBob meme, but it is like something which I have seen a lot posted on different forums. So yeah, Money Man Barnacle 3 is just really fun. I like the little redemption, the little like change of heart which Manway experiences at the end. So no free rides. If it's the episode I think it is, I do not like it very much. See, I mean that title card does seem familiar to what I think it is. I found it. Oh, okay. I think okay, I like this episode quite a bit. I think it's an episode which is a bit middling, but yeah, I think I'll put it over here. It's where Mrs. Puff gives, in order to get SpongeBob out of her hair, Mrs. Puff gives him a fake. He gives him an extra credit assignment, and if he does the extra credit assignment, he passes it. I find the scene where he's like struggling, like to do it. really, really funny, and pardon that. And it's just in general the whole episode has lots of funny moments. So I think that's worth an A. I don't think the plot is as like entertaining as like the top four. I think it's pretty cool. Now we have Patty Hype, and this episode, I do like the novelty of there being a bunch of different colors of patties. I think I'll put this in high C because there really isn't too much I remember besides that. Because it could satisfy people who like seeing bigger companies like get overthrown by independent work. But low B. I think it's pretty fun, like seeing all the different colorful patties. It's alright. So now we have pre-hibernation week. I almost searched it because honestly, I don't think I like this episode as much as the other ones. I just didn't really find like what SpongeBob and Patrick were going to be like super fun. It's the episode where SpongeBob and Patrick are stuck in Sandy's like tree dome during hibernation, and Sandy's just this huge monster. Just gained weight and a big new like body is pretty. It has a pretty nice design to it. It really does a good job with making like Sandy's character like it feel like Sandy's like design, but like you can also tell that this is not like the type of Sandy which is as comforting, as understanding as the original. So I think I put it here because I just didn't really like. It had a lot of funny scenes, but just I thought the stuff with SpongeBob and Patrick, even like with the ending and the included, it's not super fun to watch. Anyway, Pressure. Pressure I didn't really like. No, I'll give it a low D. The only thing I really liked about it was I think there were a lot of jokes in this episode, but I really didn't find them funny. I didn't really like how seeing like SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, and Mr. Krabs like gang up on Sandy like that. The only thing I really liked about the episode was how we're seeing the different like designs of the land versions of the characters. That's really making me feel like putting it in C because we really didn't get much of the above the sea, pun intended, to like in the earlier seasons. But no, I'll keep it low D because it really isn't too much. Besides, like landscape with some face. Okay, procrastination. This is what I thought that. This is what I thought that no free rides was for a second. Yeah, I think I'll put this episode down. I think I'll put it in high A. It's really on the border of S. The like visuals in it were like really fun to watch. It was kind of like mesmerizing to me. Like, can procrastination really make someone feel this way? And yes, it can. I know that now. That being said, this episode does have like that relatability which SpongeBob can sometimes have, and it's pretty effective at, especially in the first 3 seasons. And yeah, I think it's good to be in high A. It doesn't really feel like something worth the like the S rank, but still good. Unlike Sailor Mouth, which does. Another obvious choice, but Sailor Mouth is pretty good at like explaining like what bad words can do. Not knowing how the actors actually had to say the say like bad words in order to get into character and like really feel like they're saying them only to be censored. I didn't have sound effects be added instead. It really does. It makes the episode more funny, and the episode was already pretty funny, and we even get to see Mr. Crabber's mom and her grandma. Anyway, yeah, Sailor Mouth is a pretty well known episode, and I'm glad because I like it. Alright. Sandy, SpongeBob, and the Worm. I'm gonna give this one. I think I'll give it like. I think I'll put it here. Okay. Hang it. Right here. This episode isn't exactly the funniest episode. I mean, it does have a lot of like funny moments, but I guess I just don't really think it's as interesting, even though it has a like giant Alaskan bullworm. A giant Alaskan bullworm! I don't think that was a bad SpongeBob, but yeah, I didn't really, even though I didn't think this episode was like as entertaining when it comes to concept, this episode, I don't know what I was saying before, this episode is actually pretty darn funny. And I did like the scene where SpongeBob tries to get Sandy back, like stop her, even though I guess it is a bit one, like I guess it does run on for a bit, but I didn't really mind. Anyway, so yeah, I think I put that here. Shanghai, interesting to see the baits over. I think I'll put it in. I think I'll put it here. Not super. Don't find this episode super like memorable. Actually, it does have a lot of pretty nice scenes, but I guess I just thought that they like spent too much time on the. I guess I just felt like some places like ran on for too much. I guess I was really too fond of like SpongeBob and Patrick being in the ship. I liked them more when they were like more outside. This episode has a lot of funny moments, and there's also that one scene where like all the realistic like with all the like hair, all the spray. Don't remember what type of spray it is, but it's like one of the most memorable scenes in the episode. I don't like find it funny enough to like really make that entire in the ship area like stuff feel more. It doesn't make me feel like I like to see it more, but I mean it's there and it does. It is entertaining. You know what? I think I'm gonna put this in and be over here. I think it was kind of dumb how, like when it comes to the whole, like if you don't know, this is actually a special and it involved like viewers came to vote on like a special wish which either a special wish which SpongeBob, Squidward, or Patrick could get. Well, SpongeBob's was easily the most well developed. I mean, it would be I guess it would because it would be obvious that SpongeBob would win. Especially at the time where SpongeBob was so like well beloved as a character and not just an icon. Yeah, I think this is a good place actually. Now something smells. This one is definitely like an right here even. Don't know if it's higher than procrastination, but it has a lot of funny moments. Yeah, really does a lot with a simple present. A simple like plot of SpongeBob just having bad breath, and I thought Patrick. This was like this is like Patrick at my favorite it's like my favorite like episode when it comes to Patrick, and he just has a lot of he just feels really supportive, and he's I love the entire ugly thing. It's, yeah, just real. It's pretty fun. So next is Squid's Day Off. I'm gonna put this in mid-C. Like this is like the most middling episode I can think of. Funny points, like I like the like ridiculous face Squidward had when he was trying to when he was having pretty much a mental breakdown, trying to think of if his decision to like have a day off was really that good. But yeah, I thought it was funny how he just comes back and like he get everything it's just not what he's expecting. So, but yeah, it isn't really, even though it is funny in that place, it doesn't really have too much of a like engaging plot to me, and for the other parts, it just feels like it runs on for a bit, but not too much interesting happening. Then we have Squid on Strike, which I'm really not a fan of. I'll put it here. I'm really debating. It's like I don't know how many people don't like this episode, but I definitely don't. So Squid on Strike is where Squidward and Spongebob go on strike for the Krusty Krab. I really didn't find like much funny about this episode. I thought like Squidward's flat face looked pretty funny, but that's really it. I thought the ending was honestly a little like uncomfortable. I still do now. Anyway, Squidville, that's a much better episode. I think I'll put this at low A. So Squidville, there's an episode where SpongeBob and Patrick annoy Squidward so much that he just wants to move to Squidville. It has like quite a few funny moments. I do like how I feel like Squidward's like change face. I feel like Squidward's like reason for not wanting to deal with the Squidville anymore was pretty valid and really does show like the depth which this character has, or at least had. Next to the scroll jokes, I'm gonna put this in. I think I'll put it here. It has some pretty funny moments in my opinion, but there are definitely funnier episodes, and this definitely isn't a great episode for Sandy in my opinion. Next is Survivor of the Idiots. There's a chance which I got Survivor of the Idiots and Pre-Hibernation Week confused. I look for Pre-Hibernation. I think I might know which episode that is. Alright, place. Yep, Survivor of the Idiots is. And that was what was supposed to be. Some of these earlier names just confuse me. Yeah, I'm gonna move this here, put this back. Pre-Hibernation Week. I think that's the episode where SpongeBob like goes with Sandy to do a bunch of different tasks. Oh. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that's where it is. And for some reason, I'm not finding it. Like, it's staying. So, Pre-Hibernation Week. I think I think I'll put it like mhm. I guess I'll put it here. It was pretty fun, like all these different trials which they went through. I thought they were pretty cool. Pretty fun to watch. I thought that like SpongeBob scene at the end was pretty nice to see. It shows like a good growth from the beginning of the episode to the last, and it just feels so like it was like he really like went on a journey, and I do like episodes which not even a super like actual long journey, like a Fellowship of the Ring, Harvard journey, but just a journey, just understanding himself and stuff. And before I cook games, I'm gonna put this in high A because I remember finding this episode really fun. Like especially when I first watched it, I thought that SpongeBob and Patrick's interactions were really funny. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put this in low S. This episode was just really funny, and it was funny like seeing that this episode is great when it comes to one-liners, and that whole like scene, my name's not Rick, like that stuff it was just really helps out. Anyway, speaking of Patrick, the secret box, I think I'm gonna put this in. Maybe no, I'll put it above Patty Hype. This episode, in my opinion, is not super engaging, not super entertaining, but it does have. I found the secret inside the secret box to be pretty funny, and I feel like SpongeBob's like curiosity like somewhat lacking like the usual selflessness of that he that he inherits. I feel like it's a lot more earned in this episode than the Employee of the Month episode. But yeah, I think it's just a little bit above alright. The smoking peanut, playing the smoking gun. I remember finding it pretty funny feeling, but I think I'll put it. Yeah, I think I'll put it low. You know what? I think I'll put it here. It did have it had a few funny moments. I thought that Patrick had a nice role in it. I thought the villain being Mr. Krabs was fine. I didn't really think I didn't really care too much about the clam though. Okay, next is Welcome to the Chum Bucket. Just need to see which episode that one is. Okay, I found it. Yeah. So this episode, I think I'll put it in. Like, I think I'll put it over here. This episode I found pretty fun. I did find like escapades that like Plankton would go on to try and convince SpongeBob to join his like Chum Bucket to like really mentally like be up for the job. Were like pretty funny and had like lots of diversity to them, and I did like the song with SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs. People can complain about Mr. Krabs' voice being too like raspy for that scene, but I think it suits the scene fine. I prefer it than the singing voice down songs like the Money Song or whatever it's called from Atlantis Square Panthers. So yeah, I think that's a good place for it. Plankton isn't his best, but I think he still does pretty good. I think this episode is engaging enough for And next up is Wormy. I'm gonna give this a... I think I'm gonna put this over here. I think my voice is starting to go out. So Wormy is the episode with the butterfly. It has that like close-up scene of the butterfly, and I don't think I was like disturbed by it. Well, I heard that a lot of people, like when they were young, found that kind of unsettling. I don't know, maybe I was just different. Maybe I was just built different. So this episode features Spongebob and Patrick basically like trying to tell everyone about the dangers of the butterfly, and everyone going into full panic about like what the butterfly is before like Sandy like catches the butterfly, because another thing which like doesn't help their creepy feelings is that, I mean, they're like not trusting that butterfly is that they don't know how caterpillars work. It started off as a caterpillar and changed into a butterfly, and they didn't even notice, and they thought that the butterfly ate the caterpillar. There's that one, I think this episode had like that one transition scene where SpongeBob like uses like bubbles which would be used to transition scenes in order to get to the next scene, and if so, that is definitely something which works in this episode's favor. I like it a lot. Pretty funny. So yeah, this episode overall it's just really funny seeing everyone's reactions and stuff. So finally we have Your Shoes Untied. I'm gonna give this a mid B. I thought the shoe song was fun. I thought I thought just the I thought the journey, like the plot of the episode SpongeBob's trying to do it, was pretty fun. And yeah. So yeah, this season is a lot. I like the season a lot more than the first season is still great, but the second season has like a lot more, like really a lot more episodes and greats here. Like S is like third place when it comes to the most in its column. So yeah, that's definitely a good sign to come. I've heard that season 2 is better than season 1, like before, but now I know. So last off, we have SpongeBob season 3. I want to try and get to these quicker, so I see on TV. I'm gonna give this a C. I thought it was okay. I thought the novelty of SpongeBob trying to like get on TV was pretty funny. When I think of TV, I just think of that one quote from Mr. Krabs. Hello, I like money. Hi, Kanye. So born again Krabs. Just find out what so that is. Yeah, I thought this episode was a pretty good episode for Mr. Krabs. I think I'll give it. I think it has quite a few funny moments, but I really like the Krabs stuff. Can you spare a dime? Oh yeah, this is the one with Squidward. How he. Yeah, I thought this episode was pretty funny. Well, again, Krabs. Can you spare a dime? I think Can You Spare a Dime might actually be higher. I found episodes like really funny, and I feel like SpongeBob's like anger is well deserved. Then we have Chocolate with Nuts, which is just it's another word like it's another word the unpopular opinions are considered as one of the best episodes, but it really is. And yeah, I agree. This episode has tons and tons of funny moments. It has a concept so simple, but it works out great in its favor. So yeah, so next is clams. I never noticed the Jaws reference until I looked at it now because I didn't know what Jaws was before. Clams, I think I'll give it a B. Didn't find the entire I didn't find the entire like ship environment to be super interesting. We don't even go into the ship's bomb floors, I think, unlike the Shanghai. It's higher than Shanghai anyway because I did think that this episode had quite a few funny jokes. Club Spongebob. I think that might be the episode where like the SpongeBob and Squidward and Patrick go into the wilderness after mishap with that, but just need to make sure. No, I'm just gonna say it is. Yeah, I think this episode deserves A. It is the episode I'm thinking of. It has that magic conch scene, which I might find pretty funny. Yeah, as most people do. I thought the entire wilderness area was pretty interesting to explore. Yeah, so during time, I think that's the Mrs. Puff episode which I was thinking of earlier. Yeah, this episode, I think I'm gonna give it a D. I think I'll give it a low C. This episode just really boggled my mind. That it was just really awkward to follow. It was an interesting like experiment of storytelling to like have it be set up to like what appears to be different scenarios, different versions of what should be the same outcome. But yeah, it was just like so it just felt too weird for me. And I like weird stuff, but it's not my type of weird, I guess. So next we're going to missing identity. Yeah, this. um, so missing identity is the it is an S. I think I'll give it a high B. I thought it was like SpongeBob scenario was funny. I think the idea of honestly like losing your like like name, your ID, basically everything which like verifies you as a citizen. It is kind of spooky to think of. And I feel like this episode like is pretty engaging. I'm confused on if it's clams. I just don't think it's as I don't think it's super funny. And if I like said it was funny earlier, I don't think it is. And while the idea is while the idea is engaging, I don't think like the episode is just in general very entertaining. The Idiot Box, I'll put this in low A. Actually, I'll put this in high A. This episode was pretty fun. It's very similar to Paper, except with more imagination. It's pretty. The ending I found was pretty funny. Yeah, so I had an accident. Don't remember which episode that was. Let me go and check. I have an accident. Oh yeah, this episode, I like this episode. I actually put it an S. I thought this episode was really funny. And I did like how SpongeBob, I did think SpongeBob's scenario was pretty understandable. I really liked Sandy and Patrick in this episode. They work they work with each other really great as a comedic duo. Next is Just One Bite. Don't remember. Oh yeah, it's the one with Squidward. He gets his that's when he like starts to really like Krabby Patties. I'll give this a high B. I don't find it super funny, but it can still be pretty enjoyable. Crabborg, I'm gonna give a D. I did not really find this episode funny at all, and I just felt bad for Mr. Krabs at the end. Yeah, I'm not really a super big fan of like a character thinks that a character is like something he's not, and we get like more, and the characters like get more convinced just by random like stuff which they see the person doing. Yeah, so I just wasn't really a big fan. I'm a bigger fan of that than Krabby Land, which really I really don't know how like this episode like how the people writing it for it didn't think that this episode could be like could make Mr. Krabs appear too mean, because he really does appear very mean in this episode. Um, yeah, so it wasn't something I enjoyed that much. This is probably like the meanest Mr. Krabs is in this season. I mean, these first 3 seasons. Then we have Krusty Krab's training video, which I'm gonna put in S. One of the reasons why is because this is actually the first episode I've ever watched of Spongebob. And if you've seen the episode, you can imagine I was pretty confused. So the Krusty Krab training video is a spoof on the videos which like restaurant trains, like most likely, at least most well-known fast food trains, give to new employees. That they're pretty cheaply made, in order to get like them to really understand how the job works. And yeah, this episode is full of very funny moments. It's a really good excuse for the writers, for the storyboard artists, for the people involved, just to get really outlandish with the stuff that it's being shown on the screen. And yeah, I liked it quite a bit. Maybe on 4 and 5. You not remember 5, I think. Let's start with 4. Um, and 4. Oh, okay. I'm familiar with both of them. I'm only on 4. I give a little C. I didn't really find. I guess I thought the Rumble line was funny. I thought the idea was. I thought the like concept was pretty nice, but in execution I just really didn't get to engage with it. And I actually thought the scene where everyone was trying to like take out SpongeBob from inside was pretty uncomfortable. Even though I don't usually mind that type of stuff. Yeah, so the best, but if more than 5 is what I think it is, and I really hope it is. Where is it? Enough, I'm having trouble finding it. 5. Huh. That actually. Yeah, I did not expect to have to do this. Okay, yeah, this is, I think I'm gonna put this episode on as, like, yeah, an accident was a pretty good episode, but thinking, see everyone have a quick recap to go and see it. It really is the episode that I think it is. I'm good. I think I like this episode more. So this episode features like Mermaid Man and the others and like some of the other SpongeBob residents, making fun of Barnacle Boy enough that he